welcome to the Scene Weekly podcast, where we harken back to our college debate days and pick two movies of the same theme to throw out your back, not care what anyone thinks of you anymore, and let the burgeoning midlife crisis fully set in, Stephen. This week's episode is focused on over-the-hill movies, with another round drinking itself silly against Lethal Weapon Dose. Come join Jonathan and Stephen for another week of desirably less plot chatter and hopefully more film banter. We are Scene Weekly, and welcome to 40.
Almost. We're almost there. It's coming up very, very quickly. What do you got there? An Allagash? I'll join you on that.
Is that a brew?
Can you see it?
No, it just says West.
Yeah, it's a non-alcoholic beer.
Fievel goes not drunk.
Yeah, non-alcoholic premium lager. I'm trying this out. Well, we'll see. They say it's all downhill from here.
Are you a football fan? American football fan?
Yeah. I'm in a dynasty fantasy league. Follow the Packers here. Yeah, that's my team. I gotta represent.
What are your thoughts on the Bears and the Bears?
The Bears, they've just been a struggle bus for the past 20 plus years. You know, they even got the number one pick, Caleb Williams, and he's not doing too great. So, and the Packers just beat him, so we're happy all around.
Caleb Williams, what does he play?
He's a quarterback. I mean, come on, everybody drafts for their next dynasty quarterback that'll lead them to the Super Bowl and all the glory and things like that. So,
do you normally watch the Super Bowl?
I do. When I usually have to work that day, and it's the slowest day of the year. So I do
really?
Yeah,
because you guys don't offer wings.
That could be one reason. Maybe the other reason is we don't have the sound on the TV, and there's only two TVs in the whole restaurant. So, and
they're 13 inches.
Exactly.
Like those the plasma in the office where he's showing off his TV. Anyway,
whatever. But yeah, wings. We don't have the wings.
That's probably why you're not popular. But yeah, over the hill. How does it feel to be almost potentially over the hill? I mean, you're there basically. Which you got a few days, less than a week. Which I'm going to see you on your birthday, which you're probably more excited about.
I mean, it came fast, you know. Like you think about when you're young, and you see those 40-year-olds, and you're like, oh man, that guy's old. And I'm like, that's me now, man. What the hell?
I remember when I was like 12, and there were 14-year-olds, and I was like, God, they're old. Or like my sister, who's 4 years older than me, and be like, what? Like, how is this even remotely possible? I couldn't even comprehend like how old she actually was. And then 4 years is like clearly nothing. But when you're like 15 and 40, motherfucker's old.
The dude's old.
Seriously. Yeah.
I
saw a clip of Kevin Hart and Don Cheadle having a discussion. Don Cheadle's like, I'm 56. And Kevin Hart goes, damn! It's like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to come out like that. But that's how I feel when I hear that you're about to turn 40. Like, damn! I remember when you're half that.
When I was half that, yeah. I mean, you have a few years experience on me in the over the hill. You're on the downhill side of things. What's that like, man? I'm very curious. Like, I'm about to crest that. So, where do you land?
I will say this: there are a lot of people that have tried to give me some sort of guidance in how to live my life, and by their own influence, of course, and their own upbringing and their own interpretation of life and how it's going to be for me. And I would say overwhelmingly, they're all wrong pretty much across the board. And I haven't seen pretty much any difference whatsoever, other than small moments where I feel recovery from hard workouts takes a little longer. So I run 65 miles a week, and I would say that I did a workout this morning, for example. I think you ran a mile at 5:45, then I did 17:42, 3 miles, and then a mile and some 300s after. And I feel fine now, but I think there's a lingering extra. Like tomorrow, I'll feel it more than I did when I was 20 years ago. But
Here's the thing.
I don't really see any difference.
Yeah, here's the thing though. You're compounding your daily activities in your life in a way that normal people uh, aren't doing. And what I mean by that is, yes, you're
That's why I said they're wrong.
yeah, you're
They don't
working
do my
out. You're doing
they
you're
don't do
doing the
my
right
shit.
things.
Look,
Um,
I'll give you a great example. Shout out Ken Rideout, good friend of mine. Well, I shouldn't say good, but very. We've run together enough that I can definitely call him a friend. We ran on the same team for a number of years. Massive fan, and has his own podcast with Teddy Atlas, and been on Cameron Haynes' podcast. But he's 54, I think, and motherfucker's still running like 230 marathons, 229. Doesn't sit back and think, "Oh, I'm 55," blah blah blah. I'm sure his recovery is a little more difficult, but still looks good. Still is out there training, not making any goddamn excuses. And I think the second you start making those excuses, the second you start thinking of yourself as a 40-year-old, I don't know what's wrong with me. Maybe I'm delusional or just stupid. Probably a little of both. I just think, well, of course I can PR again. Of course I can run, I can still run like a 412 mile. Of course. Like what? This is delusional, maybe. Fully believe it. Anyway, don't let yourself get over the hill. You will always get over the hill eventually. Let's be clear.
like I said,
But
Father Time never loses.
Don't let yourself get over the hill here, and you'll be better. Really, when it comes down to it.
I mean,
What's the first thing you're gonna buy?
The first thing I'm going to buy as
You know
a
what they say,
40-year-old?
Yeah, like
You want me to say like insure?
Yeah, maybe hookers, blow, something along those lines. To celebrate.
Yeah.
A spray tan might do you well.
Are you calling me pale? Is that what you're kind of implying here?
I think it's more of it's stronger than just an implication.
I think I'm going to get a tattoo.
Are you really? Are you gonna? We're coming up on a year, by the way, of doing this podcast. Can we get? I mean, this is so geeky. Do you want to get a Scene Weekly tattoo?
I mean, I think I said this when we had the original OG logo, and we're kind of in the midst of changing that. So I don't know which one to go with. Maybe both. Okay. Wait, we don't have to get matching ones. Like I could get the old one, you get the new one, and then it just kind of shows that Link.
Maybe we'll get a tattoo of Link. I'm a big fan of Zelda too.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
I'm more Mario guy. Luigi.
Well, you can get Mario, and I'll get Link. And they're probably over the hill by now, but nonetheless, Lethal Weapon 2 in Another Round. I never had watched the entirety of Another Round.
Really?
Is that shocking? Yeah.
I think that movie deserves to go all the way to the end. It's definitely the climax there.
It's kind of like life. You got to go, hopefully, to the end. Whatever your end is going to be. I don't know. This.
Then how did we get to Lethal Weapon 2? Where did you land on that?
I think it's pretty clear that Mr. Danny Glover is perpetually in the entirety of those movies complaining about his age and how things are rickety, and the complaints of pretty much, is he going to have enough for retirement and whatever it might be, which, boy,
yeah,
it's a joy to watch, honestly. Not just Danny Glover, but their interaction together. And I could definitely see, maybe in another former life, but not this one, maybe when I get over the hill, that I would perceive the interaction as too campy and annoying. But I love this movie so much. Lethal Weapon 2, terrific. And Joe Pesci, God, Leo Getz,
yeah.
He actually made they all make the movie, to be honest with you, but and there's one-liners that are strewn throughout. But his character was supposed to be very different than it is.
He was supposed to have two scenes, like one or two lines.
No, but he wasn't supposed to be this people pleaser, the constant. He wasn't supposed to be that. And okay, which is actually, the okay is used in Home Alone, it's the company that's on the side of the van where it's like,
I didn't
okay.
know that.
I was like, dude, I want to go into like write a. We should write a movie book of like
All the little
either
like Easter
illusions.
eggs.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
they're all up there. I would imagine it would take some collating, but
Yeah, you got to get on a Reddit thread and get some mind hive
seems like
going on that.
seems like a lot of effort. And then like the backstory behind it would be very fascinating to me. But nonetheless, um, who should go first? I don't know. It sounds like I'm already in the midst of this.
Let's transition. I'll go. Let's start with the Danish film, Another Round. How do you
Okay.
feel about that?
It was shot in Copenhagen, wasn't it?
Was it?
I think so. I looked it up because I was like, this is gorgeous.
Oh, it is gorgeous. Yeah.
Some of the areas. I think it was shot in Copenhagen.
Never been. Need to go.
I've been to the airport twice.
Doesn't count. Doesn't count, man. Sorry.
You're on their land, though.
It's more like you're like a like a diplomat. You're not really there. You can't get prosecuted for anything. You know, you're not really there.
You can definitely get prosecuted for things.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know what airport you're going to. You're going to like Hugh Hefner's airports. Like what is you're going to like the Playboy Mansion of like airports. Where is this airport? You can't be prosecuted. You come in here, anything goes, eyes wide shut. Tom used to do this to Nicole. What are you talking about?
There's got to be an airport like that. Maybe it's in Holland.
Maybe.
I don't know.
They did have a Hooters airline back in the day. I don't know what happened to that. That would have been fascinating. Good time to bring that back, right?
Yeah, I went tits up. Sorry, I had to do it.
I went tits down.
All right, Another Round, aka Druk. I think I'm pronouncing that right. It's the Danish word for binge drinking. Is directed by Thomas Vinterberg. Came out in 2020. Stars Mads Mikkelsen. Mads Mikkelsen, funny enough, he was a gymnast and a dancer prior to being an actor, and that will play later into this film. But the premise goes, we've got 4 middle-aged teachers. They're stuck in the quicksand of a midlife monotony. Cook up a bold experiment, keep a steady buzz of booze running through their veins, and see if it makes life less unbearable. What starts off as a scientific test to dry of tipsiness spirals into chaotic roller coaster of drunken lectures, unhinged parties, and gloriously awful decisions. As the liquor flows, so does their confidence and their recklessness. But can this wild rise of booze-fueled bravado actually fix their broken lives, or is it just a fast track to rock bottom? Got to watch the film to find out. Man, that's my recap.
Did you write that?
Yeah, with a little help from a bot. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. It didn't sound like you.
You know what I sound like in my writing? Is that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
How's your new place, by the way?
I love it, man. I love it. I'm living in Hollywood. I'm pretty close to a lot of things, a lot of good restaurants, movie theaters. But yeah, my place, it's new. It feels fresh. Got my artwork up. You know, feeling good about it.
Having the artwork up so quickly makes it feel at home. It's
That's
like
that's what I tell everybody. Yeah.
That's your advice to humans and what
No, I've moved a lot.
If you put your artwork up, that's all I can provide.
No,
Excellent advice.
I move a lot, and what I tell people is like I finally feel moved in when I have my art on the walls, because you're not going to put your art on the walls before you place your furniture, right? It's a top or a down top approach. You start at the bottom and you put all the things that you want, and that's kind of how I do it.
I need to rewind. Did you just say that you don't put your furniture first? You put your art?
No. Opposite. I put furniture first,
okay,
and then I strategically place my art.
Okay, because I was like, that is the most idiotic thing you've ever said. Yes,
that'd be weird.
we're gonna saw this chair in half. We're gonna saw this chair in half, and it's going there because that art piece is there.
It could be a cool
forever.
feng shui, though. Like maybe try that out. Like put the art up first, and then dictate your furniture.
I would say I don't often say that I'm like pretty good at things, but this is like the layout of the house. Every place I've ever lived in with my wife is up to me because like she's when she's given the opportunity, it just is terrible almost. Like for example, our daughter had to get curtains in her room, and I just was like, "Get whatever you want this time." And she
Oh.
basically, I feel like she typed in curtains that look like diapers and just pressed buy it all. And it was like, yeah, that's a curtain that looks identical to a diaper, and you did well. That looks, good on Google for providing you that opportunity. So I love you. Your setup looks good.
Yeah, and this is only one part of it. I have other areas where we can, artwork available as well. So we'll
Do you have
get
a
there
favorite
on
piece of art?
one that I just bought. Yeah, it's got to be my Pulp Fiction dancing scene.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
anyway, another round. Back to the story at hand. I haven't had many drinks in a while, or on this podcast for a long period of time. Hence the reason why I'm drinking another round. Just to be clear,
What do you think of this science experiment by the teachers? Like, I mean, they're all talking around a table. They're celebrating a 40th birthday of one of their friends,
yeah,
and they bring up this psychologist
yeah.
that suggests that humans are born with a deficiency of 0.05% of alcohol in their system, and what they should do as an experiment is to drink slightly, steadily throughout the working days. They can't drink after work, after 8 p.m., I think, and they can't drink on the weekends. So it's just when they're teaching at school for the most part, or at, coaching practice. And that's what they do.
I think it's something that all of existence can create these philosophers and sociologists and whatever thought provoking ideas. We should have more of these thoughts. Because could you imagine?
More.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, I mean, you can go off the reservation on this, but like starting here, excellent thought process. Because how often have you actually had a drink and you're like, I am more creative? And maybe that creativity comes either from you thinking you're more creative and therefore you are, or maybe it comes from the fact that your inhibitions are lowered and so therefore you kind of allow yourself to be a little more less reserved and maybe more of what internally you are, without those thoughts being mixed in with, "Oh, I shouldn't say this. That's not a good idea. You're fighting that less. I definitely think to a certain extent, maybe not the 1+%,
Yeah, they went up there. They racked it up.
or just like endless, whatever we can get to, which is amazing. Of course, you have to test the levels if you're doing this scientifically. But yeah, I think there is something to be said of creativity and or the application of or the removal of being less of a human and more of just a genuine person when you've had a little to drink. I think you're a little nicer. Well, I shouldn't say this.
Not some people.
I am, 'cause I I used to
Let's make
have
a caveat here.
that wildly inaccurate statement across the board. I have a friend. My God, when he drinks, he just becomes this angry twat. I don't know if I can even say him friend anymore. Are we friends? We're not friends, probably because of this. Um, and just like wants to fight people. Like you'll put your hand on his shoulder and be like, "Get your fucking hand off!" And like, God, wow, just like 3 drinks in, like what is happening? I'm just like a lovable person. I don't see why anyone uh, would do anything else. You're a lovable person too. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't get I don't get the mean drunk. I would probably stop drinking. That would be like like if somebody's like, "You were a real asshole to all these people."
Yeah,
Like,
right.
that's not the person I want to be when I'm drunk. That's
You
not.
know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep going on this path. I
Yeah.
disagree with all of you. Like what? Yeah,
Yeah.
strange. I do have a friend who did get mean on booze and gave up the booze for life.
Smart decision.
Seems like a reasonable approach, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, you never see anybody like smoke weed and be like, I'm gonna just get angry at
No, absolutely not.
treat people horrendously, right? It's
No,
like
yeah, it's
they either eat themselves silly on like Funyuns and chips and everything I used to eat. But anyway, I
I mean,
love the thought process behind the science here. It's a
yeah, the
great
thought
idea.
process is great. And you see it actually like working out and manifesting in positive ways. Like Mads Mikkelsen becomes like this amazing teacher with his kids. He like awakens them up because he's a little bit less stilted in his approach to teaching his kids.
My favorite thing in literally the entire movie. I mean, I should yes, it is my favorite thing. Is I don't know how to like present it. Like the jab, the presentation, the thought process, whatever they were trying to do was really cool, and it was so long of the illusion that so many people around you, like Bill Clinton, for example, like they're showing like multitudes of like news interviews
Yeah, yeah.
without the actual sound of the interviews, but people who were very prolific, like Bill Clinton, that could be drunk in that moment and have said some very interesting things. And I was like, that's fascinating. Like maybe people have actually been drunk in these moments, and
Oh,
we have
of
no
course they
idea.
have.
Yeah, but that's why they've nailed it. How often do you think it happens?
I mean, think about like a lot of like I'm not even saying like politicians and things like that, but like a lot of artists, rock stars, things like that. The only way they can like actually get on stage and be that person that they want to be in front of their fans is to by guzzling some Jack Daniels before they go out on stage. You know what I
Can
mean?
I do know what you mean. Can I talk about? Do you know the story of Doc Ellis?
Doc Ellis, who's that?
You're gonna have to go back and fact check this. First of all, secondarily, this is one of my favorite sports stories in the history of life. Doc Ellis was a pitcher for the Pirates, I think.
Oakland A's. I
Oh,
believe
is
it
it
was the
Oakland?
A's.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just spitting random stuff. But basically, was completely high off his gourd on LSD and threw a no hitter while high the entirety on LSD. But there was a
Apparently, he
story.
didn't realize he was supposed to pitch that day,
Yeah, yeah,
and he took some LSD.
yeah. And they were like, "Yeah, we need you to come down and have at it." And he's like, "That is not what not no, this isn't what I signed up for." And threw a no hitter. But the story behind it, because there's like some cartoons that have actually put together his like uh not recordings, but like his story and the twisted like mindset that he was in is terrific.
Yeah,
So
like fuck the biopics about like Muhammad Ali. I mean, granted, the great athletes and stuff like that, but like I want to see that biopic. I want to see
yeah,
that like that the day of the game leading up to it, everything that goes into it, and just like the visuals that he sees. And I think it would be obviously a trip.
he played for the Pirates, by the way. Um,
Okay.
yeah. But June 12th, 1970. Wow, could you imagine? And he played the Padres, but dropped acid earlier in the day, flanked walking 8 batters and hitting another. Could you imagine? It was his first and only no hitter of his career, which is wild.
That's
But
insane.
yeah, just one of my favorite stories of like people that have either been inebriated in some way, shape, or form and had not only excelled, but a no hitter is just like you just didn't win. Like there's other
You
people
did one of the rarest
helping.
things in professional sports.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on acid. So but anyway, I'm
In the
getting off
zone.
topic.
I got a question for you.
Yeah,
Have you have you ever been inebriated like that in a professional setting? Like, do you recall like any times where you?
right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm
can
surprised you're not wearing a
I
suit and tie for this professional setting here.
have I? I'll tell you a story that
Okay.
I on a Saturday afternoon So it's the weekend. Clearly, I do not need to be working or should be working for that matter. But there was a moment that required some analysis from my perspective in a sense that I had been drinking some wine. Yes. And I had to get on live video and discuss fairly detailed analysis of what I do for a profession while live on camera. So it has happened once on a weekend. I probably should have like taken my camera off. Did well.
Did
It was
well.
fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say that in
Did you think about doing it all the time like that? Just
no,
like, I'm gonna have a bottle of wine behind my
I
computer,
I think in
just
the
ready to
legal and
go.
compliance realm of things, that is not the way to go. Probably not the way to process things. I think in the creative sense, where you're teaching class, as long as you can remember the facts and circumstances of what you're actually attempting to provide and as what the kids are learning or whoever's learning, whether you're teaching some of the piano or a sport, I think that all could apply as a fairly creative and beneficial project, but not in this world.
Yeah, with
Um,
my job, there was in my younger years, I would have wine reps come in and do wine tastings. And before I realized like I should be spitting these out more often than not, I was not doing that. And this would be, midday, 3, 4 o'clock, right before dinner service. And
oh,
there'd be times where I'd be like, I need a gulp of water right now.
speaking of, there was some cocaine, Frank, as some people call it, that defeats the entire purpose of this movie and the science project. Like, if somebody's going to be snorting some coke, they're going to get sober. Why are they doing like? I mean, it's clearly they're derivating from their plan to begin with. They're going to
Yeah,
the reservation,
I
but like, yeah, it just
I
became
think it's
like a frat like party to some extent, which is
yeah.
would you like to go to a frat party?
I would be too old for that shit.
Were you there in Alabama when we crashed that frat party?
When was this?
Probably 2003.
Oh, if I was still in college, then yeah, I was probably there.
Fantastic. Their old
Yeah,
assistant coach, track and field, cross country. You remember that in the basement? There was a band playing. We just walked in through the doors and just hung out.
that's what you do in college, man. Like it is, nobody cares. It's a party.
A lot of fun. Reminds me of that though, of like going back to those times.
Yeah. What did Homer Simpson say? The cure to all life's problems is alcohol, and also the what? I just fucked that one up.
Can we make a clip of that?
Yeah, we definitely can.
The whole point of what I'm about to tell you, I forgot. But that thing that I was thinking about before this was pretty good in my head.
It's definitely this non-alcoholic beer that's no, it's to alcohol, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
That's
That's the
that's
quote.
fair. That's fairly accurate. Um, you know what got me with this? The cheating thing was like odd from both perspectives. Like it came out very quickly. Where
Hmm.
they're just eating, and he's like, "Didn't need anybody. Did you? Yeah. What?" And I was like, "Wait, this is you're married." Like, I don't know. Maybe in Danish culture, it's just like you ask a question and you may proceed to the answer immediately. It's like I don't. How did we get here? That was very fast. There's no like, no build up.
No,
Immediately there. Yep, I fucked somebody else. It's like what? Oh my god,
I kind
that's
of
it?
like that though. I
Really?
instead of dancing around it and trying to like sweep it under
Mm-mm.
the rug, I just hey,
Sweep it under the rug. I mean, there was cheating going on, so clearly something was trying to be swept under the
yeah.
rug.
But if it's
They
being presented, you're not going to sweep it under the other rug.
were so there's two rugs.
There's two rugs now. Yeah,
You know that one quote about Homer Simpson said, "If you ever have two rugs, try to find a third."
that's exactly
It just
right.
it came very quickly. Um, do you think humans get in their own way of their emotions, or emotions get in their own way of humans? You can
Yeah,
be
the second
followed too
part.
much.
I think emotions definitely get in the way of. I mean, in what way are you thinking of?
In all ways, I just think that emotions are of a reptilian nature in our reptilian brains, and basically we
We are
should be able to
driven by
control.
not necessarily rational thought, but by emotional need or emotional want.
Woosah!
That
You just need to pause, not punch everybody in the face, Stephen.
is that
But
what I do?
I think though it's very useful to have those emotions, or else we'd just be these robots, right? These
Yeah.
are the thoughts I have in my head while I watch movies like this. Like, it's good to have emotions, but you can't be the result of them more than, I don't know. I can't even throw a percentage out, but nonetheless,
Uh,
I would like to see if we had an opportunity for you to get drunk and work, and then me to get drunk and work, and it would be accepted, and to see how we do
I
on
wouldn't
these
like that.
levels. It'd be fun.
On the level of 0.05, maybe that could work.
Yeah, but that's like 3 drinks or 2 drinks. That's
Yeah,
nothing.
I know, I know. It's
Yeah, I'm
just
there now. I'm working with you while at 0.05.
yeah, yeah. Um, this movie was going to be really different at the start. I don't know if you know this or not about the history of this movie, but
Look up
Thomas
something.
Vinterberg, uh, he wrote this, and it was a play, and his daughter Ida kept telling him that he should make it into a movie, because she was telling him stories of drinking culture with the Danish youth, and Ida had originally pressed Vinterberg to adapt the play into a movie. It was supposed to be more of a celebration of alcohol based on the thesis that world history would have been very different without alcohol. However, 4 days into filming, Ida was killed in a car accident. Um, so they changed the tone of the
What?
movie to make it a little bit. Yeah, his daughter, 4 days into the filming of this movie, died in a car accident.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
My
So
God, dude.
they basically, it shouldn't be just about drinking. It was about being awakened to life, is what more of the thesis of the movie was about.
Wow, goddamn, what a transition to having the wherewithal and ability to even be positive.
See,
I would have scrapped it. I'd have been like, I
I
can't
can't
do
make
this.
this movie,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah,
Wow.
that was one
My
of the
God.
more somber kind of facts that I found, and I thought it was
Moments on
really
this
interesting
podcast?
because, huh?
Somber moments on this podcast?
Yeah, very
God,
somber. Yeah.
Jesus.
But in a little bit of a, I guess, lighter note, this movie is going to be remade. An American version of it's going to be made by the very talented director Chris Rock, um, and he's going to be directing it with Leonardo DiCaprio as the Mads Mikkelsen part. What do you think about that?
I mean, Chris Rock, big fan of him, of course, and his directing. Dalio, I mean, that could be good. Can honestly probably be better, to be fair. Probably could be better.
Really?
I normally don't like these things. The old boy connection, like foreign films being remade here, I typically don't like.
I feel like it's going to be more of like a comedy, like a comedy, like old school, or it's not going to it's going to lose that European existentialism, Danish, uh, I don't know, honesty.
That's a good point. I think though that Chris Rock is going to keep it founded. I would hope, and Leo as
Yeah,
well.
I'll watch the
I,
movie. Definitely check it out.
I don't know what it is. Like the foreign films that get replicated in America, it loses the luster
It
typically.
does.
Maybe it doesn't. Who knows? I'll watch the film. We'll figure it out. We'll probably have a future episode where we talk about the bullshit here and there, but nonetheless,
American remakes from European films. There we go. Put it
it
on
was
the board.
it was. I would say it was quite slow in the middle though. When we
It
all kind of
was.
got the point, of like what they're trying to do.
I
Mads,
think this could have been a
quite a
short film.
dancer. Yeah, quite a dancer at the end, huh?
Like the smile on my face was so big just watching that whole scene play out. Like
Yeah, yeah,
you get the graduation students and like that idea of these teachers and they're over the hill
yeah.
and they're watching these young kids that they brought up this year and passed given passing grades and they're off to like start their life. And it's just a beautiful scene and like knowing everything that happened prior to it and this experiment and the death of one of their friends and the separation in marriages and cheating and everything like that. Like they've been through the ringer just in the past semester, um, and seeing these kids about to live their life, and he gets that drink in him. And we didn't get to see him dance at the beginning, but like this is one of my notes that I had is like I love when movies leave these little breadcrumbs at the start of a film and have it pay off so big as like the biggest thing of the movie at the end. And I think this film did it so well with Mads just breaking out that dance.
You know what they say about suspense.
Tell me.
I'll tell you later.
Oh, there it is. That was good.
I heard that joke yesterday, and I'm already using it. It's so stupid.
But you pulled it off well. You didn't flub it up like me.
I mean, it's pretty simple. Anyway, so stupid. I'll give you context behind that joke, which is even funnier, but I can't provide it here live. Outrageous. With that being said, so I loved the ending because graduate. I don't know why I like things when they get ridiculous. Like getting in the truck. I don't even know what to call it. It was like just a pile driver of a fucking truck, and there's this event where they dress up and go basically get drunk. And I thought that pretty much to a T is exactly what I think that if you graduate high school, you should be doing. It seemed like the best time ever, honestly.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like you're adults, go off. I don't know what the trucks have to do with anything. Like that seemed a little strange, but I was like, this seems a lot of fun. Like just hanging out in the back of a truck, dressed up like Halloween almost. Seems
With all your mates?
seems like a good time. Big fan. But anyway,
Do you think you could sneak booze throughout the workday if you were working in an office and not your home because that's not fair? Working from home and sneaking booze.
Easily, yeah, to be no
Yeah.
problem. I mean, there's been multiple times in the world I have worked in where I know for a fact, people I've worked with have consumed some booze. Went out to lunch, had a
Had a
interesting lunch,
shandy.
had some martinis, if you will, some dirty ones, and came back and didn't really work too hard, but some days you're gonna work hard, some days you're not. I don't really care as long as you get your work done. But anyway,
Yeah, I had my time in a different city at a different restaurant. I had my higher ups. Every
not the
Sunday.
place I'm working at now. Clearly, guys,
Yeah.
not you.
No.
Straight and narrow.
But no, I had a couple of higher ups above me. Every Sunday at 3:00, they would have to go to the Mexican restaurant behind us and talk about a lease. And they basically just went there and got margaritas, and then came back. That's
Margaritas is not my go-to drink.
oh man, it hits the spot when it needs to, but like yeah, go to
Agree.
no.
Yeah, no. Like a Cadillac margarita, big fan.
Grand Marnier, yeah.
Yeah, big fan. If I have it if I had like one a year, I'd be like, this is so good. And then that's it. That's it. Like it's
I
like
would
it's like a can of Coke.
Can of Coke's great.
I mean, last thing in the world that you would be. Anyway, Lethal Weapon 2, my friend. I chose this because I haven't seen it in a while, or so I thought, and Amazon Prime had saved exactly where I was with like 5 or 6 minutes left. Basically, the rolling of the credits. So clearly, I had seen it recently, which I don't remember. But
Did you
I
start it
just
over, or did
yeah,
you
of
just
course
finish it?
yeah,
Okay,
I
all
just
right.
rolled the credits, went right in. So I have no idea what I'm about to talk about in a second. This is one of those movies to me that I appreciate the fact that we have changed our rating system because it allows in my own head for there to be justification of a less objective way to evaluate movies and more of a fun because this is a fucking jam for me. It's terrific. And if you were to break it down objectively in the way I guess our format was previous of like you get X number of points for the
The
camera floating in the wind like a feather, which is representative and like I think it's better suited to have our glasses. And we're doing a quarter point glasses because if we average the two of us, we can have quarters. So there's that. But with that being said, Lethal Weapon 2, I love you. And I love Richard Donner, who is the director. It's 116 minutes. 1989 is the year that it was made. R comedy, 82% on Rotten Tomatoes, more like 182%. Budget was $1.5 million. And box office crushing the fucking world with 227. Get the fuck out of here.
wow.
Actually, I don't think I did a Google on the budget there. That's probably from last week, but nonetheless, 27 budget. I think it's like 100 million plus actually. When I was looking up the box office, but nonetheless, I can't. Do we even have to go into this? South African smugglers find themselves being hounded and harassed by Riggs and Murtaugh. Like, what fucking cop names are better than this shit? I mean, Starsky and Hutch, like whatever. You can come up with some other ones, but go fuck yourself. Two mismatched Los Angeles police officers. However, the South Africans are protected by diplomatic immunity. And so the two are assigned to witness protection duty in an attempt by their captain to keep his job. It is only when the witness reveals to them, oh no, that he has already dealt with the smugglers that trouble really starts. Oh my God. The premise is equally as cheesy as the movie until you get into that feeling of Lethal Weapon and you
What
get
is that feeling like?
those one-liners are just like flowing out of your mouth, and campiness is pervasive as mullets. But the introduction to this world, I mean, it's in Lethal Weapon 1, but the introduction of the movie itself with the characters, again, one of my favorites of I don't know what it is. I really like campy cop movies, like Beverly Hills Cop as well. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there's some elements of some Die Hard that shared the similarities, but fantastic names for cops. And the banter between the two is they should have made 8 of these, to be fair.
How many did they make? 4?
4.
5? 4. Okay.
4. Well,
I think
there's a
I think you
there's a
chose the
one
best one though in Lethal Weapon 2.
Yeah, no, yeah, of course. They don't make jokes; they make arrests.
Is that a tagline? Is that a tagline?
It's a line in the movie.
It should be the tagline.
How good are the guitar riffs though, or the guitar riff?
I feel like there's this like broad like era from like
Yeah,
1986 to 1994 where you could just get away with like sample.
that's it. It's like this one dude in his basement, this lazy guitarist, has no idea how to play, and they're like, "That's the guy." Like it's.
Give it a little wiggle, please. Yeah,
I think he's dying. No, that's a good guitar one. No,
that's the riff we want. When it's suspenseful, that's when they're walking down a dark alley. That's what we want.
I have to point out that 30 minutes into the movie, when the killer is getting out of the water of the pool, in the background is Nakatomi Plaza. 29 minutes and 3 seconds. Nakatomi Plaza from Die Hard 1.
Again, we get another kind of Easter egg.
See, I'm telling you, like, we have to. I'm sure there's an Easter egg book, right? Like, there has to be. But I just have to say, overarchingly, I was laughing throughout the entire movie, but I was just smiling. It was just a fun, cheesy movie, but a fun, cheesy movie that it was just, I don't know. Fun is just the easiest way I can put it. And the dialogue and banter between Mel Gibson, I don't know what happened to Mel. He needs to get back into a role like this because I think he's terrific at it. He was also drinking like 5 pints in the morning before recording, by the way, which is
Oh, he was doing another round kind of practice,
yeah,
just
like.
going for that experiment.
But everyone said like, yeah, he would drink a lot, heavy, and then but was very professional, and you know did well, I think. And I think the banter between himself and Danny Glover is just
It's phenomenal, but it's also like how they set up the characters and even their family situation. Like you have the
yeah,
beginning of the
yeah,
movie, and they're like all hunched over the TV all together. You got the boyfriend, you got the daughter, you got the Riggs and Murtaugh and the wife, and they're about to watch the commercial that's going to launch the daughter's acting career. I don't know in my wildest mind how Murtaugh doesn't know what the commercial is about, but he doesn't. He has no idea,
yeah.
and it's
Going,
like a
Daddy, I'm
world
going for
premiere.
Daddy, I'm going for this audition. What is it about? No, I'll tell you later, but you'll find out. Like what?
He probably was so busy. He probably heard they told him, and he's just like, "Okay, go do your thing, baby. I love you." And he just wasn't paying attention.
Oh my
He's got
god,
he's got the world to save.
I could not imagine. That's true, and he's too old for this shit. I just can't imagine if my daughter was getting into acting and my friends and family and coworkers, thanks to Riggs, everyone knows you've got your daughter on a condom commercial. How would you feel?
That was one of my questions for you because, like, not too great. Um,
Not too great.
my skin would be crawling, beet red face. It would look like I got a spray tan.
I think I just do. You get discounts? Like, does she get discounts on condoms? Like, and
I
have
mean,
you used these? Are they traceable? Who? I don't know, man. That's a tough one. Um, and Leo later talking about watching the commercial, like, and like saying how pretty Murtaugh's um, daughter is. I just, man,
well, I don't think he even knew it was Murtaugh's daughter. I think he
I
was just
know he
talking
did.
about the commercial.
The totality of it is like, oh my god. But I have to. There's so many lines throughout this movie that like they're not under the radar. They're completely over the radar. They're like, here we are. Like we know exactly what we're doing and provide them. And I think it's really the delivery of like the exhausted Danny Glover and the Mel Gibson just high wired like
The adrenaline of all
yeah,
of that.
yeah, just waiting to shoot somebody in the face or drive a car into like off a bridge, whatever it might be, destroying homes, for example. But I like, do I look like Michael Jackson? No, but you're bad. And I was like, that is the dumbest.
And it doesn't age past the movie when it comes out. Like
Yeah,
2 years later, it's not going to work. It's going to be
yeah.
like, this is dated.
But I was, I was literally laughing hysterically, and even afterwards, I was like, why does this work? And it's the dynamic between these two characters, like Mel Gibson and Danny Glover, and I need another version of this. It felt really good. Very happy.
Yeah.
I left loving it. I love the iterations of the Three Stooges, who Mel Gibson also loves in real life, and how that's basically this movie is the Three Stooges of all the ridiculous things, a condom commercial, Leo actually being a person in real life. It's the Three Stooges again, them three together and bonking the world basically in
The the
themselves.
the plot doesn't really matter. Like
Oh, it's irrelevant. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it does. South African diplomats and Afrikaners and the apartheid and like
Yeah,
okay,
it's
like
irrelevant.
what is
Yeah.
like? Let's just see somebody sitting on a toilet with a bomb underneath and amp the energy up.
It's so stupid. It's really funny because I remember the bomb in the toilet, but
It's the best scene.
you gotta, yeah, it's a good scene, but you have to suspend any disbelief for sure. You just gotta be like, whatever. Like this is that movie, like, or one of those movies that you have to, you know, mm, just accept,
I
hug.
I have I have a question for you.
The
I have a
bomb on a
question for you.
toilet sequence was initially like in the trailer, and it was going to be used in like all their marketing and taglines. And one of their potential taglines was,
Oh, do tell.
"They're not taking any more crap."
Oh,
It's
genius.
so
Genius.
it's but the movie to me, which I still love it, it's either at an 11 or a 2. And it's like,
There's no in between.
yeah, it's a weird thing where they allow you off the hook of this like energetic Mel Gibson tirade of a cocaine rant, and just fucking wasted, and intensity is just like through the fucking roof, where he's like chasing cars, aggression. And then you go down to Danny Glover's like family situation, and you're like, oh god, I just needed this breather. You sit there for a second, and then like 4 minutes later, whoop, back up again, like you're at 11. It's like, what just happened?
Somebody's on the face of a car going down a highway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's
And then you
nuts.
can
I have a question.
sure,
How regarding the toilet scene, how he was in there for how many hours?
like a
Quite a
full
few.
day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you think he flushed? And if not, how bad would that have smelled
I think the
in
smell's
there?
gone away, clearly.
Okay.
If he hadn't had flushed, if there was still remnants, it'd be stinky poopies. Um yeah, yeah.
And would you like if I was in that situation, sitting on a toilet for a full day? Would you stand there with me to help me jump off the toilet? Because my legs would be numb as shit. I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't be able to move. I
No.
mean, would you?
Mm-mm.
Would you do that? I
No, wouldn't do that. Like,
think you would.
how do they test the strength of that bomb to ensure that it's not going to get,
It's a pretty big bomb. You saw it, right?
yeah, it seems like a bomb tech should be doing that job. Just like pulling somebody, maybe have
Have the blanket.
a rope
Yeah.
out the window, and I'd be on the end of that rope pulling you
Oh, okay. Just in the safe zone.
with others. I'd be at the end of the rope.
Oh, the end.
The end of the rope. Still I poop. Okay, anyway. I have to say this. I love the rain.
The rain is
Oh,
good.
I don't know if it was the feeling of the movie itself. It synced up in the cheese factor, but I appreciated the rain.
The fog. There was some nice fog elements.
And I have to say, I appreciate where Riggs actually lived. What a dream place. And not like the best place, but dreamy.
Just like a trailer on the beach.
Homie. I mean, like, what a single man's dream.
It's great. It's got a dog.
Got a dog.
Trailer.
Yeah.
It's got some Riz.
It's a start. I quit this. This is the dumbest podcast ever. What are we talking about?
He brought that chick back, the girl from South Africa. Like, I mean, it was a weird kind of hookup in the grocery store.
Weird.
Granted, she was saying no quite a bit, and he was very persistent.
Yeah, I mean, men were persistent in the 80s, and he was fairly nice about it.
Men are persistent today. It's just not still shown in film as much.
It's fair to say, though, that if your boss was the bad guy, getting with the cop to put your boss in jail may not be the best decision for you. I'll have to go back to this, and I can't remember the last time I actually said this. And I'll be abundantly clear that who is going to win this award for me. This would be my favorite movie as a video game.
Okay, you're laying it out right now.
Laying it out. And it reminds me of Space Quest. Space Quest 4, to be very, very precise. It is a video game that transfixed my entirety of life. And maybe this was like 96, 97, something around that year. It's a computer game that had the banter of a Lethal Weapon 2 and the strangeness of communication and funniness of just life in general, and like small anecdotes of like poking fun at things. And this is what that did for me. And it just made me think of like our award ceremony of the golden glasses. And what would be the best video game to be made? Fucking having like GTA with humor. Oh my god, this would be terrific. I mean, people say that GTA has humor, but like more of like on the humor, like heavy on humor, and then you
Like
get to like
the
bust bad
cheese
guys.
kind of factor humor. Yeah.
Oh, give it to me. That's Space Quest 4. So, big fan. I will say this. Although it was cheesy, the diving board scene where the fake body, it's clear that I'm right,
Yeah.
is flipping. Maybe that was a little above my notch of like cheese factor. I was like, okay, like that's they're just trying to fuck with us at this point. Like, how much can they get away with? But still fun. They killed 33 people. Did you know that? 33.
Uh, 33, right? Wow. Were they all from they were the bad guys, right? Mostly?
Yeah, but 33 individuals. I found it to be seemingly a little low.
The dog didn't die. I looked it up.
Yeah, didthedogdie.com. Did you ever go there?
I did. I went there this morning. I just had to make sure that Riggs' dogs. He was in peril, but he didn't die.
In peril. I have to say that jokes that get repeated that are awkward, like the condom jokes and the rubber jokes from all the
Mhm.
cops, love, like love.
They just keep laying it on.
Just keep going. Yeah.
I one of my favorite scenes, and this just is a testament to Joe Pesci and this. Okay.
Yeah.
Is his TED talk, his rant about going through drive-throughs and why they shouldn't go through drive-throughs, and if they mess up your order, they don't care, and because you're not going to turn around, you're not going to come back, so you're just going to have to eat your tuna sandwich. I don't even like tuna.
Do you go back?
I've been back once before, once,
I've been
and
back.
I the level of in their eyes, the people that work there, and it may be just that spot or that person, I don't know, but the level of like I could give two fucks that you're angry right now. They didn't care one shit, not a bit.
I will say this though. I would say equally my going back. There's no difference between there being, I don't know, mustard on my burger versus mayonnaise. I'll just eat it. Typically,
Yeah,
if
but if it's an allergy, come on.
if I'm in the if I'm dining in or like drive through, it's probably going to be 100%. I'm just going to eat it, even if it's like a chicken sandwich, and I ordered a burger, like whatever. Just I'll be fine.
You're not gonna say anything?
Probably not. No,
Okay,
pretty
wow.
amiable. Amiable. I'm
I
pretty.
am too, to a certain point, but there's sometimes when the hungry makes the anger, and you get hangry. And I got a sub delivered to me one time, and I specifically said no mushrooms on the thing, and it got delivered. No, I went to go pick it up. I even went to go pick it up, and then when I got home, I unwrapped it, and I was like, "There's mushroom," and I called them, and they wouldn't give me a refund. They said, "You can come back and get another sub." I was like, "I don't want to drive 30 minutes in traffic
Ooh, that
there and
sucks.
back to get another sub." Like, and they're like, "Well, we're not going to refund you because you have the sandwich." I don't want to eat the sandwich. Joe Pesci captured that moment of hilarity and anger, and just nothing you can do about it because he wasn't behind the driver's wheel. He was in the back seat.
That's fair. He was terrific. And do you know what? I understand that to some extent. You know what really upsets me? It's in one I am vehement about, and I don't know why I get so angry at like food proclivities of other people or even myself. I don't understand why burgers, and I'll even go ahead and say chicken sandwiches, have lettuce and tomato ever on them, other than a BLT, which is effectively this 2/3 of the sandwich, other than the bread. The fact that you would have a burger and provide lettuce and tomato, and our friend Andrew on the podcast, who's been twice, totally, he basically takes it a step further, thinking like tomatoes should not be on pretty much virtually anything, and they don't add any value to it. I'm not going that far. I think though tomatoes on a burger are make it soggy, disgusting, and horrible. And if you're going to add something to a burger, if you're going to remove something, it's definitely lettuce and tomato, and that's all lettuce and that's all tomato. Add pickles, add some onions, caramelized onions, hell, if you want. I know that will make it soggy, but it still tastes better in any amount of cheese or cheese that you have. But I had a burger last night because I'm like ramping up for world champs here in after I see you and your birthday is going to be my last hurrah. So I'm just like, well, I'm about to get fat in the next week. I didn't ask for lettuce and tomato, and they added it, and I was like, fuck these people. They're making my burger a little more soggy than I would have anticipated, and that goes with that goat cheese shit. Assholes and IPAs. All IPAs can get it.
I've been on an IPA kick, but I disagree about the burger, the lettuce, the tomato. Like I'll take it all. You can put
Except
arugula on
mushrooms.
my burger. No mushrooms. Fuck the mushrooms.
I can take
Um,
arugula, and I can take lettuce, technically speaking, but it just becomes soggy.
it depends on the placement of of where you put it.
The lettuce should just not be on a burger, nor should tomatoes. Tomatoes is disgusting.
Oh, it's
Adds,
delicious
adds,
though.
adds no value because you like soggy things in your mouth. That's why.
Who says that?
The burger that went in your mouth last night.
I'm pretty sure everything in your mouth at some point gets soggy.
No, that's not true. Do you have any cinnamon? See if you can down a spoonful of cinnamon right now. See if that'll work for you.
It'll be moist by the time I try it.
Why don't you try it now?
I don't have any cinnamon, man.
You don't
I
have
don't.
cinnamon?
I didn't stock up. I just moved. I can't take all my pantry items.
Do you have butter?
No butter. Peanut butter. I have peanut butter.
You're not. Do you have jelly?
No jelly.
Wait,
I don't do that.
why do you have peanut butter?
For my smoothies. You're learning a lot about me today.
Oh my god. Anyway, favorite cheesy line maybe. There's a lot of them, but diplomatic immunity. It's just been revoked.
That's the climactic line right there, man.
That's so anyway, I don't have very many movies that make me feel like Lethal Weapon 2 does or did. Terrific. I loved it. And I am all my scores in the future, which we are actually going to do on a future episode. We're going to rescore all the ones in a glasses type format so that it is more useful when we launch our website. If that ever actually happens,
It's getting close.
Viewing things.
It's that whole suspense thing, you know?
Yeah. I was supposed to answer the question now, but anyway, how about some scoring?
Real quick before we get into that, I do have one last question. I have to ask. When was the last time you felt too old for this shit? Like whatever you were doing, whatever situation you were in. When did you be like, I'm just fucking too old for this?
Never. There are times where people are like talking about going to a club, and I'm like, get the fuck out. Like, I'm too old for that. Like, that's just not. It's not the environment. It's just not the environment I want to be in. I go to bed super early, like 9 p.m. Like, if anyone if anyone does anything and invites me to something that is after 9 p.m., I'm like, I'm too old for this shit. That's pretty much where it is, which is going to be tonight. And I didn't say this before, but I have won a sweepstakes, or I don't know, a lottery, where Manchester City has their 4 in a row documentary premiere in New York City, and I put in my name to get 2 tickets, and I won. So I am actually traveling very soon here, in a second tonight, to watch the premiere at the Times Square. Oh boy, Times Square movie theater, but AMC 25, I think it is, something like that. But pretty excited about that.
Yeah, it's not a club.
I tell myself, as I'm doing it, I'm too old for this shit. I have to get back on the train. Not fun. I like to go to bed. I like a very similar structure from a day-to-day perspective. So I guess I oftentimes, anything timely, time-wise, I'll say that. But otherwise, nah, I still beat the piss out of these kids in running. So I still got that going for me.
There you go.
It'll soon go away, but
not so BJJ. I heard you got your lip opened up by a youngin.
Yeah. So, she did bust me, my daughter, and I had a blood blister. It was big and large. And the following morning, I had to be in Boston for work. And I was like, this is not going to go over well. So I took a needle to my lip and popped it. She found that to be very fascinating, to say the least. But anyway, how about a score or two?
Yeah, we could do a score too.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Another round? What do you got for another round?
Another round. Love the movie. Love the premise. Like I said, I think it could have been a short film and pulled off the trick. Um, I can't give this score. I can't give anything too low with a dance number like that by Mads Mikkelsen. This gets a 3.5 for me.
Got it. Yeah, good, great dancing. I honestly I liked it too. I gave it a 3.5. I feel like I'm saying this to open myself up honestly for the future. I feel like it could have been slightly better. Just some of the shots scenes, I should say, with the cheating was, I don't know, it's fascinating to me. But yeah, the ending of it I loved, and the dance scene and the idea of there being a parade and that just being exuberant was so fascinating. And I think it's something that, as Americans, we probably just, I didn't get drunk, but like most people just go and get drunk at a house party, which is not to say there's anything wrong with that, but they're actually being, as I get older, I'm too old for the shit. As I get older, the more I see, I don't even know what to call them, but basically, whether it's like a religious family getting together, no, like for Thanksgiving, you have an event for somebody's birthday, these significant events that when you're a child you may not necessarily even want to go to. The more I see these and the more I participate in them, they make more sense to me. Whether I was saying like you have a religion and you do particular things in a certain way, I'm actually seeing the significance of those events more frequently now and appreciate them a lot more frequently than when I was a kid. So having that as a graduation path, and for like a bar mitzvah or a bat mitzvah, for example, quinceanera, like I actually appreciate those much more as an adult, and much more I would actually say in the last 5 years than I have in the past. I think they're needed, and probably even more so now. But in essence, going back to Lethal Weapon 2, I gave it a 4, uh, because I just think that it is, I don't want to say revolutionary, but so fucking fun. And I haven't had that much fun, maybe at all, in our entire podcast history. So it's been a year. It just was a lot of fun. And I'm tired of like being pedantic and like nuanced to the level of like, this is, yeah, was it, could you have better directing? Yeah. But that there's no film that we've had yet for me that's like made me feel like this. It's fun. It's fun as shit, man. Loved it. But
That's
anyway,
what I'm talking about. Like that's that. I'm glad that we've landed on this for the glasses and the rating system because
it's
there
easier.
are well, it's easier and movies. You can grade movies on like the technical aspects of like acting, directing, camera movement, score, blah blah blah. But like, what does a movie make you feel and after watching it or after walking out of the theater or how it lingers in your mind or the emotional impact that you had at certain scenes? Like that's what matters. That's
Yeah.
what counts.
You can watch Clerks and thinks a 5-star movie, and then you can watch Clerks and you think it's 1.5. And there's only one person that's right there, and that's me.
I'm being the first to join the quarter club, and this was a 3.75 for me.
Wait, what?
Can I do that?
No, we are the what? I guess we can. I guess we can now. Isn't that that's
Or
going to be
is that gonna split it even more?
yeah.
Okay, then we'll round up to 4.
This is- we're such idiots with math. We have a
Oh
film
god.
major and an English major. We have no idea what we're doing over here, numbers wise.
I mean, yeah. Next week we can figure out the diameter of between these movies.
The iambic pentameter. What is it? I don't even know. But nonetheless,
I
I've got a. I've got.
What are we doing next week? We're going to be live, is that right?
We are going to be live, and what do you want to do? Because we have a variety of topics, but I think that there's good potential to do one or the next. What should we do?
Well, the fact that you've already completed one of the movies tells me which way you're leaning. So I was thinking Thanksgiving episode.
Not necessarily, because we could do the movie. But yeah, I think we might as well. Planes, trains, and automobiles and grumpy old men. Or there could be a mulligan, for which I would be very down for.
What's the mulligan?
The mulligan would be the following week that we have in our Excel spreadsheet that nobody has access to, which we could do live, which would be hilarious.
Are you talking about what I'm thinking? Okay, gosh.
Mm-hmm.
That would be interesting.
But anyway, until next week, peoples, we're at Scene Weekly, and welcome to our world.
Bye-bye.